Alright guys, let's do my tablet is laying back there, so hold on a minute. I'm done watching all Dorman videos reaction to it. So let's do the 13-year-old whose mom's lover killed her for sport.
When a teenage girl vanished from her home, everyone looked at the people closest to her. But it would take years for the police to find enough evidence for an arrest. This is the case of the 13-year-old cheerleader who was killed by her mom's boyfriend for fun. But was the mom also involved? Let's find out.
That's messed up.
Haley Darlene Dunn was born on August 28, 1997 to her
Like
mom
Brooks
Billy
and
Dunn
Dunn.
and dad Clinton Williams. When Haley was around 10 years old, her parents divorced, and she and her older brother David went to live with their mom in the small town of Colorado City in Texas.
She
Her
has
mom
to be
soon started dating
26
a
because
guy
my
called
brother
Sean
born
Atkins, and before long, he had
February
moved into the house
18th,
with them.
1997.
Haley's dad, Clint, lived across the street from them, and he described Haley as
No,
a tomboy who
my
also
brother's
loved
older
glittery
than
stuff
her.
and pretty things. Her mom said
My
that she
brother
will
will be
always
turning
remember her
26
laughter
next
and
year.
smile and how funny she was. Her friends said that she was always joking around and was never afraid to speak her mind. Haley was a student and a cheerleader at Colorado City Middle School, where she had many friends and participated in almost every sport activity, including basketball, volleyball, and softball. Haley was also super close with her dad, and she would always pop by his house every single day. Whether it was dropping by on her way to school or staying over for dinner, Haley never missed a chance to spend time with her dad. On Christmas Day of 2010, Haley spent most of the day with her mom and brother, then went over to her dad's to spend the night. According to her grandmother, Haley was in high spirits and was super excited about the new iPad she had received as a present. On December 27th, 2010, Haley's mom said that she had left for work at around 6:30 a.m. and left Haley sleeping in her bed. Her boyfriend Sean had left an hour earlier, and Haley's brother David was over at a friend's house.
I got a
So
boyfriend
Haley
named
was
Sean
going to be home
too.
alone that day, which was really not that unusual.
That's why
Billy
I'm
said
laughing.
that she assumed that when Haley woke up, she was going to head over to her dad's place, but when Billy returned home later that day, Haley was nowhere to be found. Billy asked Sean if he had seen Haley, and he said that she told him that she was going over to her dad's, and then staying over at a friend's house. So Billy went on with her evening, knowing that her daughter was safe. However, the next day, Haley was still not back yet, and Billy decided to call Haley's friend to find out what was going on. She was shocked when the friend told her that Haley was not there and had not spent the night. Billy then went over to Clint's house to check if Haley was with him, but she was not there, and Clint said that he had not seen her the previous day either. Now getting worried, Billy went door to door asking everyone if they had seen her daughter, but no one had. Billy said that she was scared that someone had grabbed her daughter while she was going to the store, or maybe that Haley had been mad about something at home and decided to run away. But looking at Haley's room, everything you would expect a teenage girl to take with her if she's running away from home was still there. So, what happened to Haley? Billy filed a missing persons report on December 28th at around 2 p.m. At first, the police treated Haley's disappearance as a runaway case, but later they upscaled it into a missing child's case. The whole town rallied around the family and came out in large numbers to help find the missing girl. The media also jumped in the story and reported daily updates of how the search was going.
Police say they are taking a more aggressive approach. They're actually canvassing the neighborhood around the Dunn home with non-uniform officers. They're going door to door looking for anybody that might know anything about Haley. They're asking them questions. Do they know Haley? What are they doing to help find Haley? And if they can search the home. When officers do go in the home, they say they're looking only for Haley, nothing else. Now, while police are out here doing their searches, hundreds of people have actually come together to conduct their own searches. One group has gone all the way to Dunn looking for anything to lead them to the girl.
Since Sean was the last person to see Haley, the police wanted to know more about everything that happened that day. Sean said that when he got to work that morning, he got into a huge fight with his boss and was fired. He then drove over to his mom's place in Big Springs and came back home at around 3 p.m. and found Haley in the living room watching TV.
I went to me and Billy's bedroom, and she came in there and told me that she was going to her father's house and that she was staying the night with a friend, and then she left.
He said that he was alone in the house for about an hour before Haley's brother David came home with a friend and they started playing video games. Later in the evening, he went to pick Billy up from work, and that was it.
And this whole time you were thinking Haley was at a friend's house?
Yes.
About what time did she say she was leaving there?
What time Haley was leaving? I guess it was sometime in between 3 and 3:30 when she said she was leaving. It was like shortly after I got there.
Sean said that Haley would usually go off like that without calling home to check in, but that she would always come back home the next morning. As search parties combed through the woods and fields for any sign of Haley, people started to notice that the people closest to her were not as involved as everyone else. Clint, who was clearly distraught about his daughter's disappearance, said that he was searching dumpsters, alleys, and the streets. Billy said that she couldn't bring herself to search the fields because it meant that her daughter was dead and that they were searching for her body. She said that they would only hand out flyers, post on social media, and speak to the media. Sean did not even participate in any search activity and tried to stay as far away from the investigation as possible. The investigators questioned everyone in the area, including registered offenders, but they were all ruled out as suspects. On December 29th, police searched the homes of Billy and Clint, but found no evidence to suggest foul play. On December 31st, a dog managed to track Haley's scent from Billy's house to Clint's house to a friend's and then to a motel in the neighborhood. But then none of the staff there could remember seeing Haley that day. The police searched in and around the motel but could not find anything to suggest that Haley was ever there. That evening, Billy and Sean had some people over for food, drinks, and music to usher in the new year. Everyone found this strange since Haley had only been missing for 4 days. Clint, who watched the party from his home through binoculars, said that he was completely outraged that Billy could celebrate the new year while their daughter was still missing. I don't see how you get to celebrate the new year when your daughter is missing. That should be the last thing on your mind. Billy completely denied having a party, saying that her family had come over to support her and worry about Haley.
That it's been reported that we hosted a New Year's Eve party at our house. This is an absurdity beyond belief. Members of my family were at my house to be with me in this time of distress and to worry about Haley.
As the investigation continued, people started looking more into Haley's home life, and they learned that it was not very conducive for a young teenage girl. Billy and Sean were always partying and using some illegal substances. It was also revealed that the relationship between Sean and Billy was also not that smooth sailing, and that they would often get into huge fights with each other. In fact, 10 months before Haley went missing, the two got into one of their fights and even called the police on each other.
I broke up with this guy a couple of days ago, and he's a little MHMR, and he's telling me that he's gonna kill me and my ex-husband, and that it's gonna be remembered for a long time.
Around the same time, Sean also called to give his side of the story.
I got a situation on my hands. I have an ex-girlfriend, and she makes me a whole bunch of promises. It's like I tried to kill her that day. So I guess she got them from me, and she said she like took a bunch of her pain pills too. And she saying that she wants to die if she don't learn about life and all this bullcrap. So I don't know what to do.
None of them were arrested, and they would soon patch things up and get back together as if nothing happened. In early January 2011, the search for Haley intensified as the FBI and the Texas Rangers got involved. Billboards were placed in strategic areas in town, and the search radius was expanded to areas outside town. A candlelit vigil with over 700 people was also held to pray for Haley's safe return. With nothing else to go by, the police decided to give Billy and Sean a polygraph test, which they both failed. Billy failed her first test because she was completely intoxicated, and the second one showed that she was lying. Sean also failed 2 polygraph tests and walked out during the third one. The first 2 tests shows that he was not telling the truth, but interestingly, The third one showed that he had told when he was asked 2 questions. The first question was, "Where do you think Haley is?" And he answered, "Somewhere in Scurry County." Then he was asked, "Who should we be looking at?" And he replied, "Both of us," meaning him and Billy. Haley's brother David also told the police something interesting that happened the day Haley disappeared. He said that when he got home that afternoon, he found the door locked and banged the door for about 5 minutes without any answer. So he decided to go in through a side window, and that's when he saw Sean in the hallway with a deer in the headlights look. This new information made investigators want to check into Sean's story about what he was doing when Haley went missing. And as it turned out, he had lied. When he said that he was fired from his job, his boss said that he actually came in and quit. And that story about him going directly to his mom's house was also not true. The police actually pinged his phone, and it showed that he went to work, then came back home, then went over to his mom's house in Scurry County. The police searched through his phone and computer and found some really disturbing images involving minors. They also found lots of really creepy printed articles about serial killers hidden over at Billy and Sean's bedroom. Billy said that it was a hobby that she and Sean shared, and that they enjoyed learning about serial killers. But according to Clint, it was rather suspicious that his daughter would disappear while Sean and Billy were researching serial killers. He said that he believed Billy and Sean had something to do with what happened to his daughter. One of Haley's uncles told the police that on the day Haley disappeared, he had asked Sean, "How could anyone hurt a 13-year-old little girl?" And Sean allegedly replied, "It's like a deer." The uncle went on to say that Sean would always brag about how he hunts deer and cuts them up with a chainsaw. Sean quickly became a person of interest in Haley's disappearance, but the police had no evidence to arrest and charge him with anything. However, everyone else was convinced that Sean had done something to hurt Haley, though he continued to deny it.
I would never do nothing to that little girl. I love her with all my heart, and I just wish for her a safe return.
But while everyone else was suspicious of Sean, Billy stood by his side and even lied to the cops that she didn't know where he was when they came looking for him at her house. However, when the cops came in, they found him hiding in the bedroom. Billy was arrested and charged with lying to the police, obstruction of justice, and possession of narcotics. She was given 1 year of probation. She and Sean
That's
broke
it.
up sometime later.
It's
The
just
search
a
for
new
Haley
law
continued
thing
for
now.
months and without any success, with authorities and people in the community doing everything possible to find the missing girl.
Haley Dunn first went missing back in December of 2010. Those in Colorado City began handing out flyers and printing the teen's information on the back of shirts. Then in June of 2012, the Hope for Haley search team brought in a psychic and investigator to help in the search. The team brought in their own cadaver dogs, went over notes, and went out and searched areas, but still no trace of Haley in those efforts. Then just this year, search efforts moved to North Texas. A small pizza joint in Crum, Texas plastered Haley's face all over their pizza boxes. Missing flyers were also posted on windows of local shops there. Those efforts started by Haley's great aunt, who never stopped handing out flyers since Haley first went missing.
Then, on March 16, 2013, some human remains were discovered in an airfield in Scurry County, less than a mile from Sean Adkins' mother's house. The remains turned out to be Haley's.
On April 26, 2013, the Scurry County District Attorney's Office received written confirmation that the remains have been positively identified as those of Haley Dunn.
When Haley's dad received the news that his daughter's remains had been found, he said that he was somehow relieved because he knew that she was no longer suffering. He hoped that with her remains found, his daughter would at least find justice. But for some reason, it would take several more years before the arrest could be made. But Clint never gave up, saying that he would not rest until his daughter gets the justice she deserves.
The investigator on the case right now in Scurry County, he told me one time, he said he doesn't care if it takes 20 years. And I do care if it takes 20 years. I don't want the person that hurt my kid doesn't need to walk the street for 20 years.
In June 2021, more than 10 years after Haley went missing, Sean was finally arrested and charged with the death of Haley Dunn and tampering with a human corpse. The police said they found DNA evidence linking Sean to the crime.
A community with closure tonight following over a decade's worth of questions into the disappearance and murder of Haley Dunn. Sean Atkins, the only person of interest at the time behind bars, charged with her murder. Vigil held tonight in Colorado City for a moment many waited a long time for.
Sean was arraigned in court, where it was revealed that Sean took Haley's life by striking her in the head with an unknown blunt object. Sean pleaded not guilty to the charges and is currently being held on $1 million for the murder charge and $250,000 for tampering with a corpse charge.
Hi.
What do you think about this case? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and
Okay, let me see here. Alright guys, I'll see you in my 6th video.